Welcome, and today's date is the completion of the 6th day of January 2019. My name is Derek. Like always, all bets, trades, and of the like. Well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. Let's go over the mini markets quickly, starting off with silver, gold, and then into Bitcoin. Had this double bottom, that had this move up into this September high. This is the weekly term time frame. So far on the week, within the session, after having an attempted breakout on the Christmas time frame, a little bit of further gains and staying above the 18 average of highs last week. And so far in the early stages of this one, holding in there very, very nicely. When we transition in this to the daily chart, still holding amongst above the 18 average in this uptrend, as we can see right there. And support still holding it. A very volatile session as the price managed to get above these highs, but not quite towards these ones from September. Gold, on the other hand, is at several year highs when it made it. So we'll get to that one in a little bit. Let's take a look at this on a shorter term time frame. And we'll go to the single hour, which has this little possible failed breakout in here, as we've been experiencing a situation of all of this support in here, resisting, getting it above it, supporting this key area here. So this is a big situation in here. So the gap in here got above it, managed to support this in the area of where this area where it came from. This is the attempt again to continue it going. Didn't do so, lower highing this event, and a decent sized move just back to where we came from here. So yada yada, this event didn't happen. We still remain in the sideways range is one way of looking at it. But because of how this is playing out, maybe it comes down towards this level. A lot of the times it is just maybe. However, how are we reacting to after this event? And you can see just a little bit of sideways consolidation. When we look at this amongst the 3-hour term, we can see from the breakout in here on December the 20th that price action stayed many periods above this 18 in here and extending up to pretty much where we are now at 18 low change, supporting in here. A little bit of a failed breakout, but definitely successfully correcting it. And then there's a small lower high to this, another small lower high to that. And this one corrected fine. Who knows if this one will again. But if it doesn't, we're going to be talking about these point key consolidations, Fibonacci. And since we're talking about Fibonacci, I've already got Fibonacci numbers. So let me just change this from silver futures to another market trading, which has the lines I've already put in. And there we have it. 1823, I suppose. This level is it's a very interesting situation because that's where it did resist in here beforehand. That's where the failed breakout came to the area towards. So if this area fails, I'd be looking at 1740 as maybe one of the possible next situations in which it would go to. But because of the correctionary phase and all of this situation, and it's got to get above it to happen. But first see it above 1835 if it can manage to get it in there after this type of move back in here. You should have a decent size gain moving forward. Let's take a look at gold next. And it's in at 15 2/3. And this 1522 marks New Year's Eve at the end of the year. Resisted it just on, we'll say, a very short-term basis. Just a small bit of consolidation out of 3-4 periods and coming down barely anything at all into the 18. And only in there for about 4, 5, 6 periods while it was grinding higher. Clear noticeable breakout on the 8 o'clock hour time frame on January 2nd, and then supporting it for 2, and then just a beautiful move getting above this level of resistance. And that's what I've said before, getting above, you should expect a decent size plays. So here's a spot where this thing just, well, beforehand, it was getting above this level of resistance. And then you can see, oh, it's above it. Oh, look at the move. And it just doesn't stop. And you get above this short-term level, it does it again. And even in this case in here, every short-term level. Oh, if we get above the 18 highs, it could be good, yada, yada. And yeah, it is in that spot. And same thing again. So you see it's correcting within it, 1575, probably a decent chance that we could see the gains go up a little bit further. Within this 1522 fib mark, it is huge how it comes up to this point in August of last year. I can't believe I'm still saying last year on this, although it only felt like a few months ago. But it breaks down below this level of support. And what did we do in here? This was big in here because this consolidation was all it did. Now, it took a long time in just that time to correct it, but there was no significant decline thereafter. And since it's gotten above this, it has just been an amazing run. And all these lower highs, all the time to get down. Not so much here. And a little bit of a pullback, of course, within today's session. But we can see this high, this level's not seen in quite some time. If we take it back to the weekly chart, we're looking at 2016 on the early stages here, and we've broken above this mark of resistance in here after having so much entanglement at the 1321 mark. Maybe this is all we need at 1522 was what hit us in the summer. And then, of course, the breakout, of course, time will only tell upon that. But as we can see here, the price action first got up to this key level of support back in that summer time frame earlier. And now it's looking to break out above that. And at highs not seen since the spring of 2013. That's very near 7-year highs right now. And we'll be talking about all-time highs not much further after that if this continues on how it looks like it will. Coming up to this, like 4 or 5 or so periods, and then it's just a nice lift-off exitation. And not of the 18, but just from this pattern and from previous resistance high, it's broken that key level just barely. So to me, it's made a statement that it should pierce and make a move towards, pierce above, that is, to the next key fib line of 1670. That's like a mad line. Really, to me, it looks like it's a statement that it's going to more realistically come between 17 2/3 and 19 1/4, which is the previous high area. And when I say it should approach it, I'm really talking short term. Long term, all this mumbo jumbo stuff, to me, it really comes down about the destination and not the journey. Journey being defined as all the interest up and down moves that get to that specific spot. But for short term, yeah, I think it's got decent size setups moving on. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. This is against the Tether. And we're going to start off with the weekly chart, which had this decline from December of 2017 lasting to about December of 2018, a 1 full year bear market run. And then for about 6 months or so, it's been in this uptrend. As we see this bottom area, like June, January, doesn't take too long, January to June. But what's interesting is that's a half a year. It's been a half a year or so since this high. So in time, the amount of seconds that have went by has pretty much been the same. Not really, but you get where I'm coming from. But the decline or the rate of movement is nothing like it was here. So are we making a higher low? I mean, it could even do a bit more if it needs to do such. Still got to get above this upper end area, high 18 average of highs. Really, at this stage, we're looking at about 9,000. And then inside check, okay, ready for a big breakout, exitation of the 18. Maybe we'll do something good, something of that nature there. But the daily time frame is where it gets a little interesting. Yeah, there's that 6-month decline. Lower highs, lower lows, 1, 2, yada, yada. If Seinfeld never made that yada, yada episode, I don't think I'd ever say it. I'd probably say that too much, but as it goes, obvious decline situation. So what were the key highs? We had these ones, and I've already drawn them in. And highs and lows are known after the fact. And, well, this is the last key one. It looks like, well, now we're building a new one. And it looks like at least bare minimum, even on a failed breakout move, I would think we're going to like 84-ish or so now. We'll see, obviously, but probability odds. And I'm saying just for the case of where's that high going to be, I don't think we're going to have a failed breakout. But if we do, anytime we make a statement like as this, and we see weakness within the 18, and we've seen weakness here, but it didn't hold and stay above it. Thus, this was a failed short-term breakdown, and then a fast move higher. Okay, so it's an obvious statement. We'll just now play it in as we will from this point forward. When we take a look at this on, say, a triple hour time frame. As I've mentioned, also one of the key things, and I'll say it again, resistance when you break up trend lines. I mean, that's a pretty darn near, it's not straight, but it's a pretty darn near good straight line for me just drawing it like that. I'm damn impressed on this line, even though it's like the little curvature in here. But anyway, the whole point, breaking this level of resistance on the single hour term time frame in this trend. And it's already done. And how do we handle this event? Well, from the January 3rd lows. Nice setup. And this is big now that what's happened today. And just even the last few hours has just happened. So interesting to see moving forward. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.